Starmen Podcast.
Hello and welcome to a special Starmen Debates. I am your host, Devin. With me this time is my friend Curtis.
Hi y'all, I'm Curtis, and ahoy hoy to you all.
And you guys seen the thumbnails, you see the picture. We're talking ponies.
Yeah, you can blame me ultimately for all this mess.
I totally blame you for this mess.
Yeah, it's been 9 years of just insanity, all thanks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Not really, though.
No, didn't think you would be sorry.
Nope.
So yeah, since the series has kind of wrapped up and it's been a while, we thought we'd do our top 10 episodes, and then we expanded upon that to do
A bunch of categories.
a bunch of categories. So sit back and relax and
Hope you like ponies.
hope you like ponies. If not, just leave a like and walk away.
Drop the like and walk away.
Yeah. No one will blame you.
No one will get hurt.
So let's just start by how did we get into this series?
Yeah, so the whole thing, the show itself started in 2010, in case anyone listening here wants to know, as a soft reboot to the My Little Pony franchise, the fourth generation, spearheaded by Lauren Faust of such shows as Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Powerpuff Girls. She decided to do her own spin in the whole pony thing. It's awesome, long story short. I got into it, I guess it was probably early 2011. A lot of the forums I was going on at that time had a lot of GIFs and animated pictures and just straight up screenshots of the show that were very silly and interesting, and I was very curious about it at that time. I didn't give it a shot right then and there, but it definitely was in the back of my mind for definitely a few months there.
You were seeing all these colorful ponies and going, why is this?
What is the internet doing now, basically?
Yeah.
What are you doing, internet?
What are you doing over there?
But in a good way. I wasn't like, oh, this is creepy. I was like, huh, alright, well, this is new.
There's clearly a bandwagon going on.
There's clearly something happening, and I kind of want to know what it's all about. So I guess the last push for me was probably the summer of 2011. There was I happened to catch a YouTube show which was just somebody that animated the that Dead Alewives D&D sketch. You know what I mean? I cast magic missile at the darkness. Sort of thing.
Yes, that I do.
Yeah. So I caught a pony parody of that basically, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll check this out. And
and history was made.
The rest is history, as they say.
Mine's not as glamorous as his story. Mine was, I was over at your house. You had a wallpaper on your desktop of ponies, and I mocked you for it. I was like, nice freaking wallpaper.
And I was like, yeah, it is actually a nice wallpaper, and you should check it out.
And me, if anyone knows me, if I get into something, I give it a 4-episode watch to wow me. And in 4 episodes, if it has not done that, I give it a pass.
Yep.
And lo and behold, episode 3, I believe. Episode 3 or 4?
4 was the one that really got you in, I think.
Yeah. So lo and behold, the last episode where I was about to say, I don't think this is for me, you got me.
Yeah. First 3 episodes are solid enough, but I think it was the Looney Tunes kind of humor in that 4th episode that was really...
It's a very interesting one. So it's the scene where Applejack jumps off a scaffolding to launch RD into the air.
Yeah.
And the first attempt, she smacks solidly into the ground.
Yeah.
In that, I lost it on that. I don't know what I was on that day, but that was pure comedy.
It was what you needed at the time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, it feels like, since we've seen a show that really embraced that style.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So many other shows would have made a pratfall sound or she deflates or something.
Yeah.
But this was this was she solidly smacks into the ground, and that looked like it really hurt.
Shouldn't have survived that fall, but it's a cartoon, so it was fine.
It was it was a cartoon show with a hint of realism.
It's exactly, and it's that it's the emotional core along with the silliness that makes this show stand above for us.
Yeah.
It really does have a lot of Disney-esque type elements in it, with songs and really good, well-developed characters, appealing art style. It's got a lot going for it, as it turns out.
really does, and
Yeah.
surprised the hell out of me, and
Yep.
I hate you.
Good. Feeds me.
So, we're going to start off with our top 5 songs, because this show has a lot of music in this.
Boy, does it.
Like, I've picked top 5 because I didn't think there'd be enough to fill a top 10 list, and
We
my
could
god.
have done a top 10. Easily.
Oh my god, I was like, oh wow, I forgot, like, almost every episode has at least a song or two.
I think I had a list of like 15 that I had to narrow down.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of tough.
So, let's just go over. What are your honorable mentions for songs?
So my honorable mentions are, for starters, there's one called Winter Wrap Up.
Yep, I have that on an honorable mention list.
It's just it's an iconic song from the early fandom. Episode 11 or something of season 1,
Yeah.
11 or 12, and it's just like a delightful little musical number where everybody's running
Singing.
around cleaning up winter and being super adorable about it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not much for, like, for any kind of music in my shows, but
Yeah.
even this, I was like, you're humming it afterwards, and that's really what got me for it as an
Yeah.
honorable mention. I was like, I still remember it to this day, and I haven't seen that episode in years.
Yeah, it never really leaves.
Second on your list.
Second on my list would be a True Friend from the season 3 finale where Twilight gets her wings and all. And that one is just, I don't know, it really ties that episode together for me, and otherwise that episode wouldn't have worked nearly as well. It just gave all the main 6 a moment to shine and show why they're such a great group and they have such a good dynamic. The song itself is also badass.
I have the opposite song on that list.
Which one's
from
that?
that episode. I have What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me.
Right, yeah. That's the one that kind of set it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where their cutie marks are swapped and they're singing about how miserable their lives are because of it.
So you like the miserable one, I like the happy one there.
Yeah.
Good. And my last honorable mention, I'd say, is probably In Our Town from the season 5 opener. It's the creepiest song in the show, maybe? It's really, really weird. It's calling it a song is almost generous. It's just a bunch of cultist ponies chanting about how great their creepy little town is. And my favorite line from the song is, "You can't have a nightmare if you never dream." And it really sums up that song.
Yeah. For creepy songs, that's a really freaking good choice.
Yeah. It's just like the whole like creepy cult mentality summed up in a single song or chant or whatever the heck you want to call it.
So number 3 on my list is actually Becoming Popular, which is
The rarity song.
the rarity song.
Yep.
And
Or
it's
a
just-
rarity song.
Yeah, it's a rarity song, but it's so catchy.
It is. Season 2, Sweet and Elite? Is that what the episode was?
It was Sweet and Elite. I don't know which season.
It was
feel
season 2. It was
Yeah.
definitely season 2, like mid-season 2. Yeah. Yeah, solid choice.
Really, it is.
So for top 5, my number 5 would probably be the Find a Pet song from season 2, the May the Best Pet Win episode. I just love that like the little duet between Flares and RD. It's very, very adorable. The instrumentation just makes it very whimsical, and
Yeah.
the lyrics are great.
It was on my honorable mention list, but
It had to be cut for
it had to be cut because I just like some other songs a little bit more.
fair.
It is one of the earlier songs, so it feels a little rougher.
It's just distinctive. I don't know that I'd call it rough. It's just very different
But-
from your average MLP song. It's got like a subdued feel that most of the rest don't. A lot of the rest are like more bombastic and have a lot more instruments popping in, but this one's very low key. I like it.
Okay. And for my number 5, I have the Smile song, Pinkie Pie's.
You have to have that one on your list,
Yeah.
right?
I think as a Pinkie fan, I really do.
You kind of do, yeah.
But it's a really, like, if you're feeling down or you're having a rough day, just throw that song on. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, it's another fandom staple, that song, I would say. It's one of the most iconic songs from the show, and for good reason. My number 4 is from the movie. It's the villain song "Open Up Your Eyes."
That is my number 4 as well.
Good choice. Frankly, it's as good as many Disney villain songs. I really love the grim, bleak feel, and it really sums up just how horribly Tempest was treated and how she grew up to be the real kind of sociopath that she did. And just a friggin' great villain song. It's intimidating as hell.
Like, I was going to give this a pass because I was like, I didn't want to give anything to the movies because they had a theatrical budget to work with.
They did, yes.
But this song deserves it.
Yeah.
I listened to it and I was like, oh wow, this is way, way, way better than I could have even expected on a budget.
Yeah. And high production values, like the quality of the songs is obviously going to be just there from an objective level, but I don't know, it's not going to guarantee anything, so I think it's totally okay to include a song like this.
Yeah.
Number 3 would be Better Way to Be Bad from the good old villain team-up episode in season 9.
This is my number 2.
Number 2? Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
It's just a hell of a way to kick off my personal favorite arc of the show, which was that villain team-up.
Yeah.
Started in the episode Frenemies, where they all learn to, if not love each other, then at least tolerate each other and see how much stronger they can be together. The song is very dysfunctional and disorganized and extremely catchy.
Yes.
It just really works with that dynamic.
So my number 3 is actually Say Goodbye to the Holiday. As a person who doesn't really care for Christmas, I kind of like this song.
Yeah. Yep.
The whole song is about how to erase their Christmas from the calendar.
It's your Scrooge song, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
It's like if Scrooge actually had magical powers, this is how that episode goes.
Yep. Yep, in a nutshell. And my number 1, I'd say I'll Fly.
What was your number 2?
Oh, sorry, yeah. My number 2 first. A Kieran Tale. That would be the one that debuted, of course, in the one and only Kieran episode we got, much to my chagrin.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing. We didn't.
I
get more
really wish we
Kierans.
had got more Kieran. But anyways, the song that we got in that episode was extremely funny. I loved how emotional and theatrical the performance of the singer was. She just nailed it. Autumn Blaze is awesome. She's got pipes for days. That song is just great.
Fair enough. I thought it was a little up the obnoxious side, but that's just my opinion.
I get where you're coming from, but that obnoxiousness was just funny to me.
All right, you're number 1 then.
So, okay, back to number 1. I'll Fly. This is the first, I think, only RD solo song we got in the show. She had a solo song, I think, maybe in Equestria Girls spinoffs. We don't count those.
No.
This was her big singing moment, her debut. It was as epic as I was hoping. I'm an RD fan, as we'll discuss later. I think it did perfect justice to her character, and just an awesome all-around musical number.
I think, as an RD fan, you have to have that song on your list.
It's obligatory, yeah. It's kind of like the Smile song, pretty much, for RD.
So, my number 1 is This Day or I, which is a beautiful song at the end of Season 2, and just sums up everything that's going on in that episode.
Yeah. I consider it, along with Smile Song and Winter Wrap Up, to be maybe the trio of iconic fandom songs that just really define the fandom's taste in music as a whole.
That is fair.
Yep.
Alright. So, with the songs out of the way, we got our music structure.
Yep.
Pretty solid. Let's talk about the supporting cast and our top 10 out of that.
Yes.
There'll be no honorable mentions here. We're just going to jump right into the list.
There'd be too many honorable mentions.
There's way too many honorable.
It would be insane.
So, we're actually going to start a little differently. We're going to do the ones we have in common first.
Yep.
And then go off into our own.
Yep.
So, first thing we have in common is Derpy Hooves.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is quite an interesting story about this character.
Yeah, Derpy is a fandom icon. She appeared in the background of I think it was the very first episode. It was definitely the first two-parter. I think it was the first episode of the two-parter. Just as a weird, random, derp-eyed background pony, the fandom online quickly took notice of this, and it wasn't too long before she got worked into the show proper as a recurring background gag character with her own just fun little antics going on.
Yeah.
And then season 2 rolled around, and she got her own
Speaking
voice
role.
Exactly, her speaking role. She got her name canonized. The fan name for her was canonized in an episode, which blew the fandom's mind in one of the most crazy days of the fandom. Boy, that was a day.
See, I loved the first season or two, just like
Yeah.
she was the Where's Waldo of...
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, she was the background favorite, and then she got to be more than that, which is awesome.
Which speaks a lot for like the show artists or show creators.
It really does. Like the fandom and creator dynamic on this show is one of the most special features for me. If you're on Twitter and follow some of the fandom personalities, you'd probably know what I mean. They're very open with talking with fans and kind of opening up the show's creative process, all that sort of stuff. It's all super cool, and Derpy feels like the linchpin of all that. And beyond all that, she's just a super wholesome and funny character.
Could not agree more. So next on the list is Zecora,
Yup.
our lovable zebra voodoo priestess.
Again, the one and only zebra. Apparently.
And I was like, really? We don't have more of these running around somewhere?
You would have thought that we'd get like a Zebra Nation episode at some point or something like that, but it never happened.
No.
But ultimately, I don't think it needed to happen because I really like Zecora's role as like a wise, supportive mentor figure who has that air of mystery about her.
I love that she rhymes everything.
Also, that's great. Yeah.
That takes effort to do.
It really does, yeah. I mean, that's not easy on the writers, I would think.
I like to think that every time we're putting Zecora in the episode, everyone groans for a moment.
Yeah.
How are we going to rhyme?
No, they usually make it work to their credit. Sometimes there's some
questionable rhyme.
Pseudo rhymes in there, but it always works. It just Zecora's just great. Her voice is so cool too.
Yes.
I feel like Celestia kind of filled the same like mentor role as she did early on, but we kind of learned more about Celestia and like how she has like kind of more silly side. Zecora we didn't really get a whole lot on ever, and I kind of like that she just stayed as like this mysterious character that everybody can depend on.
Oh yeah.
So that's cool.
Next we have our favorite princess, Luna.
Yeah. What more needs to be said about Luna? She's the princess of the night. Like Devin and I are both fans of kind of dark characters and that sort of thing. And Luna is just she's the protector of dreams. She's a fish out of water in one episode where she's trying to figure out how the heck to relate to modern ponies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just love her struggles.
Give a little background on her. It's like she starts off as the series' starting villain as Nightmare Moon and gets reverted back to her Luna self, and we find out a little bit about her in season 2 where she comes back trying to be a popular princess and realizing I'm 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
I'm a little outdated.
What do I do with these children?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just a very relatable and realistic character, and her design is really awesome, and that helps a lot too.
Yes, it does. She's got like the star mane.
Yeah, the flowing starry mane.
Yeah.
Very mysterious aura about her once again. So yeah, love that.
And I think the last one we have in common, my notes serve me right, is Maud.
Yeah. One of the Pie sisters. The first one to get a speaking role. Let's put it that way. I think the others appeared like as background characters in the earlier seasons, but never really got fleshed out. Maud got fleshed out, and she's so unique.
She's
one of a kind. That Maud.
I have a thing for the emotionless monotone characters.
Yeah.
And Maud fills that very well.
She really does. Just she has like an aura of confidence about her that just demands respect.
Yeah.
She's got a doctorate, which is a PhD in rocks, apparently. She's just got a very stoic, down-to-earth vibe about her, despite her very withdrawn personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also,
those emotionless eyes say so much.
They really do. She also has a great sense of humor. She has just great comedic timing.
Yeah.
Somehow. And her poetry is pretty good too.
If I had to relate her to a comic, she's the Steve Wright, who is very monotone in his delivery, but his timing is perfect. And that's how his comedy works. So she's very spot on
That's
being
very
that.
odd. Yep. Yeah.
So just going up our list, who's next on your list?
Yeah, so obviously I won't cover the ones that we have already mentioned.
Yeah.
Limestone.
Another pie
This
sister.
is another pie sister.
And if you're wondering why we say pie sister, these are Pinkie
Yes.
Pie's sisters.
Yeah,
So
probably worth
they're very.
stating.
It's a very unique dynamic, Pinkie's
It really
family.
is. I really enjoyed this dynamic. My only regret is that we didn't get more of this dynamic in the show. There was probably like 3 or 4 episodes where we got the Pie Sisters as a group interacting. Maud appeared quite a bit more than the other two.
Yeah, but more on her own.
But exactly, yeah. So I really would have loved a Pie Sisters themed episode where they all just did something together. But anyways, Limestone Pie, she's a real grump. She's a salty jerk. But
she's angry. Always
she's
angry.
She's always angry, but she's just so enjoyable with
That's
with
something
her anger.
I just sorry to cut you off, but
No,
that's something
go
I
ahead.
noticed about the Pie Sisters is they have an extreme emotion, each one of them.
They really do. Yeah.
Pinkie's really happy.
Yep.
Lime's really angry. Marble's really shy.
Yep.
And Maud is the only one who's just like stoic.
She's very stoic, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But yet, despite the grumpy asshole saltiness, she can tell she deeply cares about the farm and the family.
Yeah.
And I think those are pretty cool characteristics to have as well. She kind of runs this show from what you can tell. Like, her parents are still around, but
yeah.
you get the feeling that they're just kind of there, kind of retired. She's the one that puts all the work in, all the bad backbreaking rock farm work. So you can't really blame her too much for being so salty.
No. So, up on my list, I have Granny Smith.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the old coot is just hilarious to me.
She's friggin' great,
I
man.
love how she's set in her ways. There's no changing that.
Yeah.
And then there's times where she's just so senile.
Yeah. And yet other times where she really commands the respect of her family.
Yeah.
She definitely is able to put even AJ and Big Mac in line when needed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's like, you don't get one over on Granny Smith. You
No.
never do.
No. Not even worth trying. And mine next would be good old Marble. As we mentioned, she's the last of the Pie Sisters to discuss here. I don't think she's ever said a single complete word in the show.
Nope, she is very silent.
She is, but man, that design and color scheme are just so top tier, and you can't help but just love how cute and shy she is. It's very.
I have
very
such a weakness
adorable.
for shy characters.
Yeah, and that design's just so cool. Yeah. It's the hair over the eye design.
Yeah.
Grayscale. She just seems like she's content to bask in the shadow of her more outgoing and wacky sisters.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I feel like she's got a rich inner life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just very lovable. I love Marble.
Now, the next one on my list, I didn't want to put him in there, but his performance is just, you can't ignore. And this is Cheese Sandwich. This is Weird Al as a pony. Literally, because it's voiced by Weird Al. And he named his own pony. There's no way in my mind he did not.
Yeah, no, I feel like Weird Al had a pretty big hand in the episodes he was involved in.
Yes. And interacts with Pinkie Pie, and that's like such a perfect combo for...
Yeah.
The first time we see him, he's going head-to-head with Pinkie in zaniness.
Yeah. Yeah. The rival master party planner, who ends up being an amazing friend.
Yep.
Let's see. Also on my list, I've got Daring Do, who could have just been a carbon copy of RD, but instead of being limited to just RD projecting herself onto her favorite book series, Daring Do kind of came into her own in later episodes, and has a really distinctive personality and motives, and has a ton of awesome adventures under her belt. I will say that the episode where she debuted and was made into a real character was somewhat controversial in the fandom, because a lot of people really did feel that she was best left as a fictional character. I could not disagree more. I just love the vibe of Daring Do. She's our very own Lara Croft, or whatever you want to call her.
She's such a combination of every adventurer, like
Yes.
Lara Croft, Indiana Jones.
Exactly, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
rolled into one good package.
yeah. Again, the voice acting is phenomenal and helps a lot with divining her character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will admit, I was in that fan boat where I didn't think that she should have left the fictional world.
I would say you were probably the majority opinion, but I am proud of my my minority opinion on that particular subject. Just because I
turned around at the end of that episode, though.
That's good, yeah. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I didn't... Like, when they announced at the start of the episode, like, I don't know if I want to really be in this camp.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I was like, you know what? I see the humor in it.
Yeah.
That this book on fictional writing is actually real, because this fictional world is technically real.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. So she, and it's a pretty clever side business too. She's going on these adventures, getting all this treasure, and then
writing
some
about
books
it
for profit. Not a bad gig.
So going up my list, I have a really odd one. I have Angel Bunny.
I like that choice a lot, because I feel like that's another controversial one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who really don't like Angel because of the Fluttershy Angel dynamic, but you clearly enjoy him.
The antics of this bunny are just... He has so much personality. He can be an actual character, aside from all the other pet characters who don't technically have a personality to them. They have a quirk.
Yeah. Yeah, Angel went 8 seasons rather, where they were talking, and only in the 9th season did we finally get to hear from him. But you didn't even need that just to get like the personality from him. He's just such a rascal.
Yeah, you're like, this is a jerk rabbit from the first time you meet him, and every time you see him.
Yep.
All right, next on your list.
Next on mine would be I'm going to say Tempest. Tempest Shadow from the movie. Again, touched on this a little bit when I...
Okay, what's her actual pony name? Because she changed it to Tempest.
Yeah. So she... But for most of the movie,
it's
we
like
knew
Fizzy
her as...
Pop something.
Yeah, so for most of the movie, we knew her as Tempest Shadow. At the very, very end, I think literally the last scene of the show, of the movie rather, was her saying, "Oh, my name is actually Fizzle Pop Berry Twist."
Oh yes, I was like, it's Fizzy Pop something.
Yeah, very cute, very silly, but yeah, like as I was mentioning during her song there, I just love her.
She's got that soldier vibe.
Exactly. Yeah, she's a warrior. She's a fierce fighter.
Yeah.
Been through a lot in her life. She's apparently didn't have any good parental figures to even help her. She just went from scared, broken little kid to big, scary warrior badass, and that's pretty cool. I love that she was also given a redemption. It's very emblematic of the show that someone like that could even be redeemed. So, yeah, she's just super cool. Love her design, love her voice.
Now, my next one, I'm going to say the name of, no one's going to even know. I guarantee you. Screwball.
Oh, man, yes.
This character appears for 5 seconds in the season 2 opening.
5 glorious seconds.
And what the fans did with that 5 seconds is amazing.
Yeah. And just to spell it out, this is just a purple pony with like dizzy eyes and wearing one of those propeller beanies, and just flies along the screen.
Doesn't even have weight. She just earth pony that floats.
Yep, exactly. Floats is a better word than flies. And she appears when Discord is like mega screwed up the entirety of Ponyville, and she's just I don't know. Was she a regular citizen there? Was she a creation of Discord? Who knows?
Like, That's the thing. I was like, I want to know more about this pony story. I was like, were you always like this? Did chaos caused this?
If you want a good fandom song, what is it? Daddy Discord? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Daddy Discord
it's a parody of Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. It's actually really good.
Another thing that really got me into her was Piano Brody did a series called Screwball's Revenge, which is he does background music for what, if this was an actual game, this would be the background music for different scenes.
Yep.
And the premise is that Screwball is Discord's daughter seeking revenge because they defeated Discord.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting fandom stuff going on with that character. She's just so weird.
Yeah. I love me my weirds.
Yes. Good taste. My next would be Vinyl Scratch, the awesome DJ pony. Also known as DJ Pone 3. She's just friggin' cool as hell. She's got a white color scheme with electric blue hair, cool shades. She expresses herself through sound and music. She can't or doesn't talk. We're not sure which. Doesn't matter. She just everything about her just screams coolness.
So, to contrast you, and this is going to be an interesting contrast, I have Octavia.
Yes.
On my next.
Yeah.
And because I love that air of class around her, but she's not snobby about it. She's always down to earth.
Yep.
And anyone who hung out with us, if they had to guess who we liked,
yeah,
they would think you would like Octavia, and I would like Final.
That would be a fair guess. Yeah. Who knows why we prefer what we do, but I guess I just always have had a sucker for those cool designs with the spiky kind of look to them and just the general vibe of, yeah, I'm cool.
Now, I do have a bit of something. I always wanted Derpy to be the mute character.
Mm.
And Vinyl, the fandom gave her a voice, and I think it's a really awesome voice.
Yes. Yeah. No, I won't dispute that.
But
the character that, of all the background characters that got kind of adopted into canon, Vinyl was probably changed the most just by virtue of the fact that they decided... You know what? It might have been the fact that the fandom voice was so beloved, and they weren't able to find a way to work her into the show. That they're just like, we can't really follow up on this with a proper voice that everyone will be happy with. So we're just going to.
We're just not going to.
Yeah, she's just not going to talk, and she's just going to express herself through music. I totally respect that decision.
I agree with that. If you can't match it, don't try.
Yes,
you're just going to make people.
You're just going to disappoint people. Yeah.
All right, and your top number one.
It's got to be the great and powerful Trixie. Always has been and always will be.
I have a history with this character.
Yes, you do. There's never been a more fun redemption arc, I don't think, than Trixie's. She goes from being just like a complete asshole who's smug and just a real showboat.
You want to punch her in the face so hard.
There was a lot of people in those early days who were just like, yeah, Trixie sucks. She's just a jackass. And that's fair enough, but I always just enjoyed how ridiculous and over the top and theatrical she was. She just has so much bravado and silliness. And then I guess first of all, season 3 came around where she had like a magic amulet that turned her into basically a villain.
Yeah.
After the whole corruption fiasco, she seemed to show some signs of genuine contrition, and then by season 6, she was full on redeemed in one of those episodes, and had a really, really fun arc with one of the main characters thereafter.
Yeah. So, yeah, Trixie went from I absolutely hate this character in my mind to I tolerate this character.
And I would say that by the end, you liked her.
Like is a strong word, but we'll say I don't want to punch her in the face anymore.
That's progress. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love Trix. She's got a great design. Love the robe and wizard hat. She's just always going to be that loudmouth, but she's always going to be lovable. And
my number one is Discord, and I'm ranking him here on his being a redeemed character. I'm not including the villain.
Yeah.
And just when you throw Discord in any episode, God only knows where that episode goes.
He's like the genie from Aladdin, but a dick.
If you want to put Discord's alignment anywhere, Chaotic Dick is where he is.
Yep. Yeah, he just busts out all kinds of crazy sight gags, like whether it's like popping at his eyeballs and rolling them on the ground, or just any sort of insanity that you can think of, singing flowers, or just completely off the wall.
He kind of reminds me of Beetlejuice, the cartoon.
Actually, that's also a great comparison. Yeah.
Like, he takes the literal sense of something and makes it real.
Yep. No, he's been the center of a lot of very interesting storylines in the show.
Yes. And always been the, why don't we call Discord for help?
Uh-huh.
And anyone who knows Discord's not the first person you run to for help.
He's a very powerful fellow, but that's tempered by the fact that he's a very unpredictable fellow.
Yeah.
So, yes.
There's a good chance he's going to make this worse.
Yeah, you never really know what you're going to get. His only weakness is a cute little yellow pony that he can't really say no to, so they can control him at least on that regard.
Which, I mean, better than anything.
Yep.
Alright. So next on our list is actually called the Student Six.
Yes.
So, you want to fill us in on the history of what the Student Six is?
Sure. So basically, they were introduced in season 8 as kind of a new wrinkle in the show. There was a school of friendship introduced, and the idea was all the races of Equestria would come together under this new school and learn what it means to embrace friendship. And so as a result of that, we got 6 distinct characters, all of different races, learning to become friends, and that's what we had for the Student Six.
Yeah.
And so I guess there was a two-parter that kind of set them up and introduced them, and then thereafter they became regular fixtures of the show for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
They had their own episodes, kind of starring them uniquely, so we thought it would be worthwhile to rank them separately as pseudo main characters. Given their later role.
To be honest, I think if the show would have kept going, they would have started to take on the main character roles.
Yeah, you get the feeling that you could see either the sequel to the show or a spin-off of the show where the Student Six become the main characters.
Yeah,
just straight up. So yes.
So we should introduce our Student Six before we rank them.
Sure.
So we have Sandbar, who is a Nerf pony.
Yep.
Yona, who is a yak. Silverstream, who is a hippogriff.
Yep.
Ocellus, who is a changeling. Gallus, who is a griffin. And Smolder, who is a dragon.
Yep.
So, ranking these, who's your number 6?
Number 6 is Sandbar.
Sandbar as well.
Yep. And it's nothing against the guy. He's a solid, down-to-earth dude. I think the reason he's at the bottom is simply because he's a pony, which we have
so many
all over the show.
But he's a male pony. We don't have very many males.
That is true.
But he does there's no real personality to him, I find.
Yeah, it's hard to pin down specific character traits. He's got a cute relationship with Yona by the end of it.
Yeah,
and he's just a solid friend, but he's not remarkable in any way that would elevate him above the other 5.
No.
Yeah.
Your number 5.
My number 5 would be Silverstream, the hippogriff.
Okay.
And my reason for that was I found her a little bit too much like Pinkie Pie with wings, personality-wise. There weren't a whole lot of distinguishing traits there that really set her apart in my mind. I think the hippogriffs as a race are very cool, and I love the whole sea pony thing that was worked into the movie. And she definitely has some plenty of great moments, but just overall as a character, she didn't do enough to distinguish herself for me.
All right. My number 5 is Yona.
Uh-huh.
And this is just because she speaks the broken English, because she's from a foreign nation.
Yeah.
And her whole thing is smash.
Yep. It is.
Didn't really get a sense of anything else personality-wise.
My number 4 was Gallus. We're getting to the point. even like 5 and 6, like they're still enjoyable enough characters. Like Gallus is a cool dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's sarcastic.
I guess we should have put the disclaimer here before we went into these lists. Is that
Yeah.
even if we say it's the number 10,
yeah, it doesn't mean hate.
it doesn't mean hate. We still love this character and have to put it in a top 10 list.
Yeah, if we didn't care about the student 6, we wouldn't have bothered ranking them.
No.
So, Gallus is sarcastic. He's funny, and he's got a really, really cool color scheme. He just has a really good dynamic to the group that I think works individually with them quite well. Like, he has a good relationship with each of the other 5. Very, very much enjoys Smolder and Gallus antics, I'd say.
Yeah. So, my number 4, I put Silverstream here.
Uh-huh.
And this is just because I hate characters that try to remind you of the movie.
The obligatory, here's some continuity with the movie character.
Yeah. It's like, every time she's on the screen, it's like, did you see the movie? This is from the movie. Did you see the movie?
You're not wrong. I think like there was that one episode where they were all facing their fears, and hers was literally the villain from the movie.
Yeah.
So
it's like, who?
If you didn't see the movie, you're not going to understand much about Silverstream.
No.
Yeah. My number 3 was Yona. I'd put her a bit higher. Yes, she has that dude bro smash mentality, but I personally actually felt that she had a bit more going on than your average yak. The yaks are funny to me anyways, just because they're so silly in one note.
They're pretty straightforward in their role.
They're very straightforward. I really do like Pinky's dynamic with them, I must say.
Yes.
She takes them very seriously in a way they don't really deserve, but I love it. I do think that Yona has some depth. She feels like in a lot of ways like she's like the glue of the main 6 of that student 6 group. She just whenever they're fighting, she's the one that's like, no, wait, stop. Yona no like or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a very loyal heart to her that I respect. So that is why she's my number 3.
My number 3 is Ocellus. And this is just basically combine Twilight Fluttershy into a changeling.
Uh-huh.
And you got Ocellus.
Yep.
She's very book smart, but also kind of on the shy side.
Yes.
But yeah, turns into a huge hulking bee monster.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Like, of all the races that shouldn't actually know fear, the changelings is one of those.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, what are you, a big giant bear? I'm a bigger giant bear because I'm a changeling.
Yeah. A changeling can be anything, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my number 2. She's a cute, smart bug. Love her little, I don't know, quiet, cute voice.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to have another changeling protagonist in the show. Offers a very interesting perspective from what was formerly a villain race.
Yeah.
Her transformations, like Devin said, are metal as fuck.
There's never been a transformation where I was like, okay. It's always been like, wow, she can change into that and she's shy about it.
Yep. And yeah, the studious types always appeal to me, so definitely enjoy her from that regard too.
Who is your number 2?
That was Ocellus, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Then my number 2 is Gallus.
Mm-hmm.
And basically on the same levels, like, he is kind of like the leader, or he takes the leader role when there needs to be someone in charge.
Yeah.
But he also has such a snark about him that I just love.
Yep. Cute little blue smarters.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And this is coming from, like, we meet the first Griffin in, like, the first season, and we kind of get the hint that Griffins are assholes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that like, it's like, oh, Griffins are jerks now. But,
yeah.
That's what this whole friendship school thing is all about, is seeing that there's more depth to these races than we previously gotten, so that's cool. Yeah. And my number 1 is Smolder, and obviously that's yours too.
Yeah, by a process of elimination.
Yeah, by process of elimination, that's yours too.
Yeah.
She's sassy, she's rough and tumble. She's also has a cute little soft side. She's just friggin' great, man. The glimpses of dragon culture, which is again very bro heavy and all about being a total asshole.
Strength
to one another.
might makes right.
Exactly, might makes right sort of mentality. I like that she both embraces those stereotypes and also breaks them.
Yeah.
Very, very good. She's also got some similar traits to Rainbow Dash, but unlike Silverstream feeling too much like Pinkie, I would not say that Smolder feels too much like Dash.
No.
They do feel like very separate characters, despite both being kind of cocky and kind of rough around the edges. So I really like that as well.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly why I like her.
Yeah.
I thought she's the tomboy, but like in her private time, she'll put on a dress.
Yeah.
And have a tea party with herself.
And why not, right?
Yeah. And then punch anyone who comes into the room by accident.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Tell no one.
So moving right along is our villains.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a show without good villains.
You sure can't.
And I think for this, we'll do our ones that we don't have in common, and then our 3 that we both have on the same list. I don't think there's really a ranking. It's our top 5 villains all around.
Yeah.
So, who's first? I think we both know the 3 that we have in common.
It has to be.
There's no way around it.
You have to have these 3 on your list of villains it's just obligatory by the amount of development they got by the end.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the other 2 that I really enjoyed, one of them was Sombra.
King Sombra, the shadow.
The shadowy ruler.
No heart, basically.
So, somewhere between No Heart and Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
In his first appearance. He was just kind of like almost like a force of nature in that first appearance. Which
I
very
love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there was no real fighting him. There was stopping him.
Yeah, like you've got to do this to stop him. Fighting him is not an option. He's an incorporeal wraith-like monster.
Yeah,
you can't do much about that. He was he'd returned in the show later in
season 9.
Well, I guess first of all, season 5 in a what if scenario where he was the would-be ruler of Equestria after certain timeline fuckeries happened.
Yeah, we'll get into more of that when we do the episodes. But.
Yeah, but he truly returned in season 9, where he was resurrected as a very pompous jackass, and I really enjoyed that.
I hated that, though.
I know that you did not like that particular portrayal in the slightest.
I love, like, he went from the force of nature to...
Yes.
Basically, I read online, that's the best way to put it. He went from, like, Calamity Ganon from Breath of the Wild to N64 Ganon.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep. He is just such a pompous asshole who was so full of himself that I have to put him on this list.
Right.
I enjoyed his initial appearance, and B, I also enjoyed his follow-up appearance. I will also say that one of my favorite twists in the show was when they all thought that he had been vanquished in the very first episode of the season 9 opener, but he totally turned the tables in a really awesome way and ended up being a major threat again. Big respect for that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, I put Nightmare Moon as one of my top villains. She was the starter villain, and kind of showed you the kind of villains you were going to expect from this.
Yes.
Manipulative, put everyone to the test. Basically, if they did not embrace those elements of harmony, she would have won.
Pretty much. Yep.
And, like, the traps that she set, like, any normal pony would have probably fell for them.
Yeah. It was a really good way of showing off the virtues of the main 6.
Yeah.
By overcoming those various traps. My other character, or villain, rather, that doesn't appear on both of our lists is Mean 6 Twilight from the episode The Mean 6. She is, what were you going to say?
Sorry. Now, I saw your list beforehand, before we did a lot of the rewatches, and I was questioning this one.
Yeah.
But then I watched the episode, and I understood.
And you understood, damn it. So, yeah, she is just such a cunning, manipulative little so-and-so. And she could have been the greatest threat Equestria's ever known with some more screen time. She has the same magical prowess and intelligence of Twilight, but reversed in a way that makes her just a schemer, a manipulative sociopath, and just a magical powerhouse who almost overthrew and killed her boss.
Yeah, as those kind of minions are known to do.
Yeah, but she had the friggin' strength to back it up.
Yeah.
I just loved her personality. She is very fierce and dangerous. Again, if she had had her own story arc in the show beyond just that one episode, she would probably be my number one with a bullet, honestly.
Fair. Mine that's probably not on anyone's list is the Wendigos. These appear in the Heartswarming Eves episode.
Yeah.
Again in the one of the episodes later on that touches Christmas, the one where they say goodbye to the holidays.
Yeah.
And then in the season finale.
Yes.
Or series finale.
Yeah.
And it just clicked into me. I was like, these were actually a constant threat the whole time.
Yep.
And what these do is basically if the three races of Pony, of Earth, Unicorn, and Pegasus do not work together in harmony, they bring about an ice age. And that just kind of looms over you, your whole existence.
Kind of a scary way to live when you think
Yeah, it's like, hey, if we don't get along, we're going to, like, freeze. And that's not, like, fairy tale. That's real.
That's real. It's kind of like what you liked about the first appearance of Sombra, except even more of a, like, incorporeal, intangible, constant force of nature sort of thing. Yeah.
It's, how do you stop nature?
You can't.
You have to use a MacGuffin.
Yep. Yep.
Alright. And I think now we can get into the three prime evils, as I like to call them.
Yeah, the villain trio, the villain triad, whatever you want to call them. They have the most development, the most screen time, and the most personality, frankly, of all the villains in the show.
Yes. And they are, of course, T-Rex, Cozy Glow, and Chrysalis.
Yep.
So who do we want to start with on this one?
I'll start with T-Rex.
Let's do T-Rex.
Yeah. And what's interesting about T-Rex, he's probably the most down-to-earth of all the villains in the show, despite being a weird, evil demon centaur man.
Yeah.
He just, like, in his most powerful form, he just looks like a big, giant, dumb meathead, but that's a mistake, because he is super smart and cunning. He has the brains to back up that brawn.
Yeah. Like, in the season finale where we see him,
Yep.
he starts off very weak and manipulates Discord to help him.
Yep.
And then he grows into absolute power. And he's still, like, brutal and smart about it.
Yeah, exactly. He never once becomes the dumb muscle of the group.
No.
It would have been easy to say, alright, of these three, we're just going to make T-Rex the dumb, brawny guy. But they did not, which is great. They kept what makes him so fun. And just, in general, I just also really like how his voice changes the more power he accumulates.
Yeah.
He has like a very weak, sort of raspy voice when he's at his weakest state, and then a big, deep, resonant voice when he's got all the magic absorbed. A very nice touch.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I want to do Cozy Glow next.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is a small, tiny Pegasus pony.
Yep.
But just you seriously underestimate what she can do.
Yeah, she's so wicked. She doesn't have a backstory. She doesn't need a backstory.
No, I was glad they didn't try to explain why she was wicked. She's just wicked for wicked's sake.
Yeah, does it even? I honestly don't remember. Does the show ever actually confirm that she's a child? Is she perhaps just like an adult has like stunted growth and that sort of thing? Who
Maybe
knows? It does not matter in the slightest. All you need to know is that Cozy Glow is a nasty, brilliant little manipulator.
Yeah, and she works on charisma.
She does, yes.
Which we don't see a lot of in villains these days.
Yes, yeah, and we can credit her almost exclusively with being the one that made the villain trio happen in the first place.
Yeah,
she proposed and ultimately pushed through the idea. And even on her own, she ended up being quite a threat.
Yes. And I think everyone's favorite, we have to put her in there.
So, Chrysalis is... So, let me put it this way. If the main six have an arch enemy, I don't know that you could conclusively argue that they have one, just because of how well-rounded and diverse the villains have been in their presentation. But if there is one, it's Chrysalis.
Chrysalis has been a constant.
Yes.
I think she had more appearance than any other villain in my opinion.
She definitely has. She first appeared in season 2. Appeared again in that the flashback episode that the what if scenario rather episode that we alluded to before. She appeared in season 6 as another two-parter. She had her own standalone episode in season 8, and she had the whole villain arc in season 9. She's been there a lot.
Yeah, and she introduced us to the Changelings as a villain race.
Yes,
that just feed off love and are like decayed-looking insectoid ponies.
Yep.
The design of these things are amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good nightmarish, actually.
Yeah.
They've got, like, holes in them and just, like...
They scutter around.
Yes, scuttery-looking wings and it's all screwed up looking. It's really good. Chrysalis herself, she's very spiteful, she's very cruel, she's very vindictive. Man, she's everything a villain should be, to be honest. She's just...
rotten to the core.
Exactly, yeah. Like what sums up Chrysalis for me is that when in the very last episode when the villains were being turned to stone one final time, her last act was to strike a very defiant and angry looking pose where she was hissing at them.
Yeah.
Pure spite to the very fucking end.
Hey, if I'm going to be frozen like this, I want to intimidate fear.
Yeah, baby. That's how to do it. That's how to be a bad guy. Yeah. I also really like the extra depth they gave her with her losing her mind.
Yes.
After losing her tribe.
So in the season
didn't
6,
do so well after that.
In the season 6 finale, all the Changelings got converted into a nicer looking palette swap, we'll say.
Yeah.
And found a way to live in harmony with ponies.
Yes.
But Chrysalis did not take this route, which I'm so happy they didn't just try to redeem her.
Oh, yeah.
And we see her again in season 8. She's a little worse for wear in mentally.
You might say so. Yeah, just she's a wreck.
Yeah.
She's talking to trees and just desperately trying to cling to some semblance of control. It's quite a sight. It's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That mental snap is a nice little touch to her.
Yeah, Chrysalis rules.
Yeah. And the final part of this episode, sir, is ranking the main 8.
Yeah.
This was going to be the main 6, but we realized there are 2 add-ons.
Yeah.
So the main 6 starts with Twilight, Pinky, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Rarity, and Applejack.
Yeah.
Then we added Spike because he has been there since day 1. And then we put in Starlight Glimmer because she kind of got incorporated into the main cast.
She became a major fixture in the last half of the show.
Yeah. So we couldn't overlook her either.
Yeah, it didn't feel right to stick her in the side character. She just she ascended beyond that.
Far beyond.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll start from the bottom of our list and work our way up again.
Yep.
I don't think our top pick should surprise anyone, but here we go.
Yeah. Shall I kick it off?
You shall kick it off.
All right. So I think I'd put Spike at number 8, and I have no hate whatsoever for this guy. He is ever the voice of logic and reason with a healthy dose of snark. He has an excellent role as an assistant character in the show. His only problem is that he got stuck with a lot of bad episodes that starred him, unfortunately. He works best by far as an assistant or sidekick or voice of reason in the show, and I felt that he got shafted every time he got a single episode to himself.
I really feel sorry for Spike.
Yeah, it's not entirely his fault, obviously.
No.
It's nothing wrong with the character, it's just how he was used is unfortunately less than optimal sometimes.
No, fair enough, and our disclaimer again, last place does not mean hate.
Yeah.
Just someone has to take the last place.
I should say, right now that I would consider the main 8 to be my favorite ensemble cast in TV show history. Not exaggerating, so there we go.
No, so take that as you will.
Yeah.
So I put Rarity as number 8.
Yep.
And To be honest, I have really nothing bad to say about Rarity.
Yeah.
The only thing I would mention is I'm just not a fashion fan, and if you were to describe who Rarity is, she's a fashionista. She values beauty. If I heard that, I'd be like, okay, I don't really think I'm going to care for this character.
Sure.
But they take Rarity so many different directions that it's hard to not hate her.
Yeah.
But as I said, last place had to go somewhere.
Yeah. Seventh for me was Applejack. AJ is a rock solid friend. She's very down to earth, extremely dependable.
I had Applejack in the same spot.
Okay, perfect, great. So, yeah, again with Applejack, my one and only complaint is I wish she had more episodes that were either good or about her specifically. I feel like all of her good episodes were about the Apple family as well.
See, this is where she got a one-up on Rarity on this one, because I was in the fandom mindset of Applejack is best background pony.
Sure.
That whole...
I kind of hate that meme, but sure.
Sorry, I knew you were going to hate that meme, but
Yeah.
that's where I had to start from.
Yep, no, I get it.
But I was looking into her episodes with our rewatches, and I was going, Applejack's really good with family issues.
Yes.
If we need an issue that deals with family, who else do we use?
Yeah, no, she's perfect in that role.
Yeah.
She really is. I just really wish she had more individual moments to shine, is all I would ask.
Yeah, she has very seldom ones where she can shine, and that's a downer.
There's the one episode, or one of the early on episodes where she got an episode of her own that had nothing to do with the farm, was her getting completely overshadowed by Derpy's reveal.
Yep, the last roundup.
Exactly. And as much as I love that moment, I was like, oh, poor Applejack. God dang it. Oh.
To be honestly fair, though, Applejack did not really shine very well in that episode anyway.
No, but again, it's just emblematic of what goes wrong with her character.
Yeah.
It's just the writers struggle to find conflicts and interesting things to do with her that don't involve the family.
Yeah. Well, when her thing is all about honesty, it's kind of hard to do several different episodes about just be honest.
There's a lot more they could have done with her stubbornness and that sort of thing, though. Like just some sides of her personality that were explored, but not enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. AJ is cool, bottom line.
Yeah.
I just wish they had done more.
All right, you're number 6.
Yeah, my number 6 would be good old Rarity. Again, like you were saying, it's easy to take her at face value as some snooty elitist fashionista. She is decidedly not that. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. She is just such a fun, full of life character who just lives in the moment and just exemplifies the element of generosity perfectly. She does so much for her friends without ever asking for anything in return. She's a diva sometimes, but that just makes her even more funny and lovable. Her voice actor just sells her character so much that I could never ever imagine her having a different voice actor.
No.
Tabitha is the heart and soul of Rarity. She just embodies that character who's trying to be a fancy character who can't quite break away from her simplistic Ponyville roots, and she's just super fun to watch on the screen every time she appears.
Could not agree more. My number 6 is Spike.
Mm-hmm.
And for the same reason, Spike is a great assistant character.
Yeah.
He's the voice of reason to Twilight when she's in panic mode.
Yeah.
And I wish he would have stayed that way.
Yes.
But there's so many episodes where he just gets literally shit on.
It sucks. Frankly, it really sucks. Some of the worst episodes of the show are him just being a butt monkey.
Yeah, where the universe conspired that day that Spike just doesn't get a moment.
Just does not catch a break whatsoever.
It's a shame.
It's unfortunate. Spike is still great.
You're number 5.
My number 5 is Pinkie Pie.
Alright, this is going to be fun.
I know, right? I think your number 5 is probably my number 1 as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again,
let's duke it out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're fighting Pinkie Pie sucks. I'm saying it right now. That's why she's my number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, Pinkie is just she's the heart of the show's more comedic elements.
Yeah.
She's always a source of fun and humor. She has a ton of great gags. Love the crazy cartoon antics and fourth wall breaking stuff that she brings to the show. She's just always full of hilarity and life. I feel like some episodes kind of take her too far and she becomes annoying, and I hate when that happens. It's not really what she's meant to be.
No.
It's just that she's flanderized into being kind of screechy and annoying sometimes. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But Pinkie, at her best, when the writers are on point, is just a joy.
And I have Rainbow Dash as my number 5.
Yep.
And I love her loyalty, her energetics, the strive to be the best.
Hell yeah.
Gonna be number 1.
Yeah.
Watch me. But I always felt there are times where she comes off a little too boastful, and there's a few episodes where it felt like we don't have someone to learn the lesson, so we threw Rainbow Dash under the bus.
So frustrating, man.
Which frustrates Rainbow Dash fans for sure.
Oh my god.
And even not a huge fan of her, she's one of my favorites, but
Yeah.
it angers me when that's pointed out to me that it's like, yeah, she was thrown under the bus under this. And I'm like, yeah. Now looking back, I was like, ooh, she, as a fan, you'd really be angry, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Again, it feels like a failure of the writing more than the character, where in some episodes she just is always portrayed as the villain because she's bold and brash and can come off as insensitive. So, why not make her just a jackass?
It was either that or we make up a new character just to learn a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the worst episodes of the show, kind of like Spike in some ways, are Rainbow Dash being flanderized as a total freaking jerk.
But she makes up for it in other episodes where she really shines.
Oh my god, yeah.
Where unlike Spike, who never really gets to shine.
He does not. Then that's the difference for me.
Yeah. Our number 4.
Yep. Number 4 for me is Starlight Glimmer.
I have Twilight Sparkle.
Unicorns. Well, I guess unicorn now. So, Starlight went from a very fun and powerful and charismatic villain in her debut episode, season 5, to being the unlikely heart and soul of the second half of the show,
yes.
Which kind of defined the show in a lot of ways from that point forward.
This was what the show was building up to.
It really feels that way. So this was, instead of just being yet another villain redemption, this was villain is redeemed and becomes a main character.
Yes.
And what does it mean to have a villain who genuinely wants to be good and still really friggin' struggles with that sometimes?
Yeah. I love those episodes where the morality of her decisions comes to play.
Yeah. She makes some very questionable ethical decisions when she's presented with certain scenarios. So, yeah. Always love the jokes at her former past of being like, yeah, I used to enslave a village and all that sort of stuff. Good times.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of stuff always makes me laugh. Yeah, she's just a really enjoyable, redeemed villain who found a really good niche in the show and teamed up with one of the best characters in the show, Trixie. So, yes.
I will admit the Starlight Trixie
Yeah.
compare is just great. I will not fault.
Yeah.
If Trixie's on screen, Starlight better be freaking nearby.
Really.
Otherwise, I'm not going to be enjoying this.
Spoken like a true Trixie tsundere. We know you love her deep down.
So, I put Twilight Sparkle just as number 4.
Mm-hmm.
I love this character. I love her starting out because she had that snark.
Yeah.
She's very blunt and logically blunt about everything.
Yes.
Which I love.
Really love that.
It's when she gets into panic mode that I don't care for her.
Mm-hmm.
Lesson Zero took that to an extreme, and then it just seemed like anytime we need a panic setting, throw Twilight in there and just watch her get out of control.
Yeah. I would say that I enjoy that side of her, but in moderation, I feel like the show did it a few too many times to the point where it became unbelievable at times.
Yeah.
And so I totally understand where you're coming from. Moving on to number 3.
Number 3.
So my number 3 is Fluttershy, and I will say that I was not the biggest Fluttershy fan from the get-go. I actually found her kind of annoying in the early episodes of season 1. It's just constantly holding up the plot and not being all that charming about it. Like, there was definitely some chuckly moments, but
Nothing. I see what you're saying too.
Yeah, I really felt like Rainbow Dash was in the right whenever she was like, "Come on!"
Yeah.
I felt like saying the same thing to the show. Get with the program already. Just come on. This is taking too long. But all that to say, by season 3, she became a fucking awesome character. But of all the characters in the show, I feel like she underwent the most growth by far. Anybody saying by season 3 to late season 5, whatever, that all Fluttershy does is learn the same lessons over and over again, I'm sorry, but you need to go and rewatch the show and look at it more critically. Her transformation from that point forward in most episodes is a more confident, caring demeanor who is not backing down from threats but confronting them head on, being assertive, and really, conveying to her friends what she wants on a more regular basis.
Yes. Like, the best thing to do, watch an episode from season 1, then watch an episode from season 6.
Yeah. She never loses her love of animals, her soft side. She even still has some moments where she's spooked by stuff, and that's totally fine, but is tempered by a much more relatable, realistic personality, and I just love what they did with Fluttershy.
Yeah. So, my number 3 is Starlight Glimmer.
Yeah.
And I love that she brings back the old Twilight snark.
Yes. Very good point.
Like, we lost it when Twilight became pretty much the Alicorn.
It was still there to some degree, but you could definitely notice a difference from season 1 Twilight to season 4 Twilight.
Yeah. And I'm going to roll it back. Another reason why Twilight didn't get really high on my list is because of the transformation. Not because I didn't care for it, but her role changed from learning and book smarts to how to be a royal figure and what should I do to be the best princess I can be.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Back to Starlight, though.
Yes.
I love the trying to redeem herself and just not having the best morals for every decision she made.
Yeah.
There's an episode where she thinks brainwashing isn't a bad idea if I do it in moderation, right?
Mixing several whammies of mind control and obedience spells together into like some god awful abomination of the spell. It's like, this is fine. This will surely help me pass my friendship lesson or whatever.
Yeah.
It's great. Glimmer is just funny and enjoyable to watch. I really like that little kite thing too.
Yeah.
Remember how she got she revealed that she was super into kites as a hobby?
Yes.
Just another good character quirk. I love those.
Oh, by the way, I like flying kites. Well, okay, the enslaver of a pony town flies a kite every so often.
Yeah. Let us not forget that she also had a goth face as a kid or teenager.
Yes.
We got a glimpse of her room in one season 8 episode there. It was just all like bat guitars and skeleton motifs and death metal type stuff. So good.
If you ever worry that your kid might grow up to be evil, there's some signs in that room.
Yeah. It's not a phase, Mom. Yep.
Alright, you're number 2.
Yes. So my number 2 is Twilight.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. I will say, just right off the bat, that Twilight and Dash are the ones that I always got at the top of those old pony personality tests that they used to do.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, it'd like ask you a bunch of questions and you click the button. You've all seen stuff like this on the internet. Which character are you most like? It was always Twilight and Rainbow Dash for me. Twilight is pretty obvious, I think, why I kept getting Twilight. I just really relate to the whole...
organized, obsessively organized.
Oh my god, yeah. Like those specific traits, like oh my god, man. I just love the whole like obsessed with books, lists, neat and orderly information, all that sort of stuff. I just totally relate to all that. I love the nerd who plans for every minute and stupid eventuality.
Yeah.
And what makes Twilight great is that even when those plans fail, she's got the skills and the smarts to still win in the end. That's pretty damn cool.
She is a really good bounce back character.
Yeah, you can't get Twilight down for too long. No. She will always find a way to come back. Yeah.
So, my number 2 is Fluttershy.
Yeah.
And I have a weakness for very shy characters to start with. But I will state this: if she stayed that way from season 1 all the way through, I would have hated her by season 4.
I'm glad.
But she showed steady progress. Like, throughout every episode, I could see she's getting a little better at this.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said, easily the most developed character in our humble opinions.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 1s?
We're moving on to our number 1s.
Alright. So mine, as I alluded to, is Rainbow Dash. Again, I scored high on those tests with her. I think probably the reason is just because her particular values, her innermost self, very much reflects my own innermost values and self sort of thing. It's really that core of loyalty that I really value and respect in a character. And beyond that, she's just brash, bold, funny, courageous. Pretty much everything wrapped up in a cool little blue package.
Yeah. With a rainbow bow on it.
With a rainbow bow on it. And like, that rain boom is probably the most iconic moment in the entire show.
I will agree to that.
It kind of, not only just from a fandom perspective, but it also kind of like set everything in motion in the show, lore-wise, which is kind of cool. Dash is just awesome. Like, that's her go-to word for everything, and she embodies it, so that's fair enough.
Fair enough. So, mine is Pinkie Pie. And I love cartoons.
Yep.
Pinkie Pie is a cartoon.
A living cartoon.
Yep. Literally breaks the physical rules of this world to her cartoon antics.
Yeah.
But I never felt she went fully annoying. There was 1 or 2 episodes maybe where she got a little out of hand.
Yeah.
But it was never, she was not the, oh, look at me, I'm wacky.
It was never that. It was more like insensitive sort of stuff. Like they'd play up her wackiness to the point of like not caring about people's feelings or something like that. You know,
and that is definitely not Pinkie Pie.
No, exactly. That defies.
If you want a caring, heartfelt pony, Pinkie Pie is really that person.
She wants everybody to have a good time.
Yeah, like life is a party for her, and everyone is invited.
Yeah,
and it never stops.
It never stops. The party is forever.
Right. I think she's that person that like would invite everyone to the party. If you want to leave, bye. Thanks for coming.
Yep.
And then, oh, you're coming back? Come on in.
Yeah. Yeah. The like no grudges, nothing like that.
No.
You take Pinkie at face value.
Oh yeah, and she takes. Yeah, she never holds a grudge on anyone, and that's concerning, but also that's what I like about her.
Yep. Yeah. A solid choice for number 1, I think.
And that is our character list.
Yeah.
This episode ran a little longer than we were expecting.
I kind of sort of expected this would happen.
I kind of felt so too. There was a lot to cover.
There was a lot to cover and a lot of characters that we feel strongly about, so.
Yeah, so there's passion behind all this.
Yep.
But we'll wrap this episode up. This is probably going to be a multi-parter. But until the next part, thank you all for listening. This has been a Starmen Debates on ponies.
Yep. Special episode.
Any final words before we end the episode?
No, I look forward to talking about some more.
All right, let's cut her here. We'll move on.
Keep the train rolling.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, night to you all.